4 lines on the top. 9 starts with what yesh bo koyach ha'etzim. We were discussing yesterday, pardon me, the principle, yesterday or the day before, the principle of hashpah pnimis. And we said, as an example, hashpah pnimis is seichel. And this manifests in the fact that seichel, hashpah seichel has to be intended. Berotzen. And if it is just uttered words of seichel, not intending to be mashpia, but just one speaks to himself, it will not have the same effect. It will not be absorbed by the Talmud the same way. And the Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya. We explained because that in hashpah pnimis, what is actually given is not the seichel per se, that which is utterable, which is expressible explicitly in words, but the essence of it. And this is what is very mushpah, that you're not touching his seichel, touching his etzem. That is due to the kavanah, due to the intent. So I realized afterwards that this is clearly manifest in the fact that Chassidus explains, we learned it many times, that there is a difference whether the Talmud sees his Rav at the time when he is mashpia or he doesn't see him. It's a Gemara. That Rabbi said that because the reason that I excel over my chaverim is because Reb Meir, when he said, I saw Reb Meir when he was giving the shir, and I saw Reb Meir me'achurav, I saw him from back, and if I had seen him from front, I would have been even more, I would have excelled even more. What's in seeing the Rav? Because hashpah pnimis is not what you are, not the oyer, it is the etzem. This is why there has to be this direct connection. This is the real hashpah pnimis. And the same inyan is in nefesh. The nefesh gives chayes to the guf. Does not give chayes the result of chayes. It gives chayes per se. So that in the guf there is the sense that it is alive. This is why the gilei from the oil from nefesh has to be berotzei, because the only way that the nefesh can actually be mechai the guf is if it gives itself, its element, its inyan to the guf. And this is what we explain. But the nefesh cannot be mislabish in the guf. But the oil is oil atzmi. And the oil atzmi has b'koyach ha'etzem. The oil atzmi has b'koyach ha'etzem. What does it mean? It has b'koyach ha'etzem. He's going to explain it now. But in principle, it means that this oil atzmi does not represent oil; it represents etzem. Like we said many times, that there's a phenomenal difference between the sunlight and sun. Even though, how do we get the sun through the light? But there is the union from the oil rishek, so to speak, the etzem oil, that represents sun. And what is sun different than oir? The difference is that oir is mispashet in a place where there is no oir, where there is choshech. Therefore, what are you getting? You're getting something that can counter darkness, which is completely, so to speak, in your level. Whereas when you get sun, you get the principle that there is no darkness. It takes you out completely from your own limits. That's what hashpah is. Even though it comes through the oir, but this oir has bekoyach ha'etzem. This oir states, I'm not oir, I'm etzem, even though it is in fact oir. As we will go on, we'll have a chance to discuss it more. But this manifests itself, especially when you talk about hashpah seichel, in a very, in a variety of ways, and sometimes of extreme importance in terms of chinuch of children. If you talk to the children from your oir, you're not reaching the child. You have to talk seichel, but the seichel has to come by involving yourself into it. And if you simply giving direction, it's just not, it's going to bypass it. The meaning of chinuch is that the child should be you, not the child should be a child, an obedient child. That's not the point. Okay. All right, so we're 4 lines into the page. AyinBase 8.
9.
AyinBase 9. Slow moving, huh? So he said that this Tzura Atzmis means that it's a Tzura Rishoyna Shemin Ha'etzem. This is the first Tzura that's from the Etzem, which simply means, there's no simple meaning to this. It's the first Tzura from the Etzem, which means that this Tzura attests that there is an Etzem, not that there is an Oyer, but that there is an Etzem. And therefore, yesh bekoyach ha'etzem.
Can I turn AC on? Is it okay? Can I turn AC on? Is it okay?
Sure, for my part. I'm sorry. Okay, let's push it. That could be understood from that which is discussed elsewhere. B'inyan Shem Adam Kadmon. The term Adam Kadmon. I don't remember where we learned specifically the Indian from Adam Kadmon, but we discussed Adam Kadmon many times. So let's go right into it. Shezehu, so it's explained, Shezehu harkovo mishnei inyonim hafochim. Now this term, Adam Kadmon, is a combination of 2 opposite inyonim, principles. The Shem Odom, because the part of the name which is called Odom, Moire al HaChidush. That is indicative and is alluding to a Chidush, to something in a novel. Meaning it came to be. Shaharei, since that, Odom hu nivra. The Odom is a creature, is a creation. Umechudosh, and it actually was innovated, came as a new presence. K'mei kol hanivroim, all other creatures. And the Indian that is mechudosh in the pshat, shekoydam she'nivro lehoy mitzius. That before that he was created, his mitzius, he was not there. There was no such entity as Odom. Ukmei shekosum, as it says in the pasuk, vayivro elokim es Odom betzalmi. Hashem created Odom, even though he created betzalmi, but it was a creation. And the term creation, by definition, means yesh Ayin, creating something new that did not exist before. There's a difference between Atzilus or Bria, or Gilui and creation. Creation means that you're actually creating a new entity. Such an entity that didn't exist before.
Like I just want to ask,
Yeah.
New entity, like a child is a new entity, right? I'm saying, when you mentioned before, like, when you mechanech a child, you have to be involved completely there, right?
Go ahead.
Just asking, the child, you just think about now, it's about creation, new creation. The new child is also a creation. It's a new being, right? Relatively speaking.
I don't see how you connect them. They're
No, not chinuch. Chinuch, you address a child, a new child that's there. But a new child is a new whole. It's a whole complete being, right? Let's keep it. Sorry.
I don't know what I have
Nothing.
I have to think where you're coming from to answer it.
Don't waste time.
It could be different implications.
Don't do that.
Where you go? Where does this question come from? What is the tzura atzmis of this question? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I'm just trying to kind of simply get, like, the reference for a new being, because I'm not able to. I don't create worlds. I'm saying, so, like, what's a new thing?
We do not have the capacity at all to create.
Okay, here we go. So that's, I guess, what I was looking for.
We don't have the capacity. But relative to our existence, there is the thing that you say create or develop. B'Shem Kadmon, and the term Kadmon means, what was Kadmon? Kadmon means that which precedes everything, precedent, pristine. So that Shem Kadmon harei shoylel as achidush, that rejects the term of chidush, the idea of chidush. The whole mechudosh, because by principle, mechudosh einay Kadmon. Mechudosh is by definition not a kadmon, which means pristine, that it was there all the time. Shari kodmei hahed. He is not kadmon. Before he came into being, there was something else. What was headed? His absence. So therefore, he is not the first presence. The first presence is that when he is not there. V'imkein, and thus we have the question, Mahu Shem Ak, Shezeh Ha'arkovim Beis Hafochim Zeh Mizeh, which is a combination of two opposites, thinking that two opposites, one from the other. And then on the bottom, apparently this is from the Rebbe himself, an insert. V'chein b'shem Adam Gufa. The same is actually within the name of Adam itself. We also, yesh beis hafokim, there are two opposites. The Adam who nivra kanal. As we mentioned before, that Adam is a creation. Nivra means mechudash. V'chol b'riya, and creation, harei hu b'derech ein aroich k'meid. The principle of creation is that it's b'derech ein aroich, that it comes through a skip, a
quantum leap,
by a leap, not a continuous development. This is where the infant brio comes in. Continuous development can be extremely great, but it's not creation. So Adam is nivra, Adam, but the word Adam who gam kein loshen Adam le'elyon. The word Adam, the term Adam, is called Adam because it also bears the meaning of Adam al-Elyon. I will approximate and reflect the Elyon, that which is above. Yimkin harehu be'erech, which means it's be'erech. Be'erech means it's not a creation. Okay. Inyan Yuvan. However, this inyan can be understood. Alpi Masher Kosuv, Betzalmei, Betzelem, Elikim, Boro Ise. Based on what the pasuk says. Vayivra Elikim Ha'adam Betzalmoi. That Adam was created Betzalmoi. It's made Betzalmoi with his own Tzelem. Betzelem Elikim, Boro Ise. He created Adam Betzelem Elikim. Shehapirush, where the meaning is She'adam Shalamato Nivra B'Tzelem Elikim. This Adam here below was created by the Tzelem Elikim. It's a godly form. Hainu, which is Kedug Masiyur Adam Shebatzilus, reflecting the Tzir Adam, that's an Atzilus. The Ksiv, where it says, Valdmus Hakisei, Dumus, Kamari Odom, Olam Milmailo. That on the throne, he saw the Mus Kamari Odom, the appearance Kamari Odom, all of Milmailo sitting on top. And this is Odom Lamato, is B'Tzelem Elikim. And as the Zohar says, explains, Shenishmosoi, in what way is Odom, the Mus K'marei Odom, in the fact, Shenishmosoi Klulo, as his neshama is comprised in the kol ha'es esfiras atzilus, incorporates all 10 spheres of atzilus. V'hein eser keichas hanefesh. Okay, here we really should pay attention. This is a phenomenal thing. V'hein eser keichas hanefesh. These are the 10 keichas of the nefesh. Sheshosho me'o'es esfiras, that are rooted in the es esfiras of atzilus. And thus, Rag ha'odom yesh bei ha'eser koiches. Only Odom has the 10 koiches. where no other creature possesses these 10 koiches. Pardon me, mishum shenase b'tzelem Adam ha'elyon da'atzilus, because he was made in that form of Adam ha'elyon da'atzilus, of the upper Adam ha'atzilus.
What's the correspondence of the koiches?
Okay, one second. What is the simplicity? What is the significance of the Eser koiches? This makes the Adam similar to Adam ha'elyon, and Adam ha'elyon is Adam Kadmon. What is the Kadmon element? Okay, I hope he lets me finish this. What is the principle with the Eser koiches, 10 koiches? We mentioned many times that when a person walks, even though he already designated the direction he's going to, and he pursues it step by step, each step is a new creation. Each step is a decision on its own. Each step derives its presence, its right to be, from his will, not from the decision that he made a second ago. He is present at his essence is present at every step. How do you bring the presence of the nefesh, of the rotzah, into an action? And, excuse me again, being the presence of the nefesh, not skip any beat, so to speak. I moved the cup over here. The cup moved from here to here, but the cup did not move. It didn't have the sense it's moving. It was standing here. Now it's standing here. But the person, there's no such thing. I was here. Now I'm here. I mentioned many times that if there's no graduality in a person's process, he will never be able to adjust to the new place. How did I get here? Diluk. How did I get here? This process is something which goes through all the Eser koiches, starting from Chochmah all the way down to Malchus. Let's understand. The first principle is to understand Chochmah, which is the most elusive thing to understand. Be all present in the world, because that's where we were put by the Beis. The Beis created the world for us, the Shomayim and Oretz, principally the Shomayim and Oretz, and He placed us in this environment. Now we mentioned the other day that the way the Beis created Adam, it's not merely that he is on the Oretz. but he is on the Shomayim and Oretz, and he's all the time aware of the Shomayim and the Oretz. Remember we discussed this. The Shomayim, like I said, project the possibility if there was no Shomayim, what would be the experience of being on the Oretz? It would be exclusive Oretz. I said this is like the rat hole. It would not be a human experience at all. Shomayim, on the other hand, Shomayim is untenable. It's unlimited. It's the overall reality. Adam is on a constant basis drawing from this unlimited reality into his practical life. All the time. This is the principle of Chochmah. This is the horrific, I always have to turn to it because it bothers me so much, the horrific concept that they have created in this monstrous thing of the evolutionary concept that everything is based on Oretz. That's besides that it's being false, but it's so destructive. It's putting a person into a rat hole. But that's how the human being that Rebbe created. The first principle, so this Indian that we have mitzad the nefesh, the Shemaim and the Oretz. And the first koyach, that's called the koyach, is Chochmah. The essence of Chochmah versus Bina, this is where the principle really is to be understood. Bina is when you bring the Shomayim into the Oretz. Chochmah is when you identify the Shomayim. You can bring the Shomayim into the Oretz, the Shomayim that is distant from you. You have to first conceptualize it. You have to first get it. Chochmah gets the Shomayim. And then in Bina, this becomes translated and brought down into the Oretz. What is the principle that Chochmah, okay, here's the catch. And Chochmah gets the Shomayim. Shomayim, there's nothing to see. What do you see? This is what we mentioned many times, that the principle of Chochmah, that which the real experience of Chochmah is not what we see, but that there is a truth. We can't see the truth per se, because real truth has no form. The Chochmah gives a person a conscious sense that there is a truth. This is how Adam is approximating that which is above. Just like the Rotz does not need a platform for wanting, for the Rotz. It is there because of the truth. And Chochmah is the first level as a koyach, as a presence, it relates to this. In other words, the way the human koyachs work, so to speak, is before there is a conceptualization before actualization, not the other way around. He finds out that there is a world because he conceptualized the world, not because he experienced the world. This is the Eser Koiches. That we need Eser Koiches to bring Shamayim into Oretz. You need the whole process of Eser Koiches. Animals do not begin from conceptualization. Animals begin from experience. Like I mentioned the other day, an animal runs and there's a wall, he's going to avoid the wall. Not because he knows what the wall is. He concepts, oh, this is a wall, I better go around it. No, if I hit it, I'm going to hurt. At best. Some animals run into the wall and get hurt and then they go away. Some are a little smarter, they can avoid the wall. But it's all based on the same principle. A human being says, no, wait a second. There's a blockage here. It's not meant to go.
So yes. The Adam and the Elyon aspect saying is represented by the 10 Kaifas, and the main point in the 10 Kaifas is that he's relating to the Ayin. This is the Adam, the Elyon,
just like Adam Harin about Atzilus. Atzilus is reflective of Kesef. Atzilus is not really a world of Tzias.
This is similar to the Adam Kadmon.
Sorry?
Similar to the Adam Kadmon.
Right. Atzilus is below Adam Kadmon, but Atzilus is in essence the whole world of Atzilus is called Olam HaChochma. Bina, Bria is called Bina, and Atzilus is called Chochma. Even though it has there 10 spheres, those spheres are actually incorporated in the Chochma.
So that's the main principle, that it's incorporated in Chochma. All the 10 spheres are incorporated in Chochma.
Right.
Or it's through permeated. I have a question. In the Yom Yom that you always quote also, that that person was given a gift, that he is a yosher, that he sees earth all the time in contrast to the heaven, because he walks upright. So what you're saying right now is that Chochma is a perception of the Shemayim, what you call it, per se, like it's just truth, it's just truth, abstract truth that exists. Now that perception of truth, does it have to come in contrast to that there is also earth, or it's just that there is truth and that's it? It doesn't matter there is earth or there is no earth.
Well, this is the great accomplishment of Chochma. Chochma is a koyach. A koyach is by definition a presence, a limited presence.
Mm-hmm.
Shemayim per se, we have much higher than Otzrotz and anointing is in Shemayim. Chochma is what connects Shemayim to Earth.
This is all getting us back to helping us to relate to the idea of the Tzura Atzmus.
Right.
That it's the first Tzura. So that's what's similar to the idea that a person is conceptualizing from the Ayin, basically. That right. every action is coming from that, is sort of representative of the koyach of the first kind of. This is sort of what we're trying to relate.
Yeah, you're still developing. Yes, basically, as I said, even though Adam functions on the earth, but he cannot be unaware of the Shemayim, not for a second.
I have another question.
No, I'm sorry. You have a question, right? But the clock is telling us that we better stop. Okay, have a great day.
Thank you.
Yeah. ya 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 ya